Hello everyone, Lynn here from Mockingbird in Maine, and I have my February Graphics Fairy Design Team Junk Journal to show you. And this one is all things roses. It has been a pretty mild winter here in New England, but I still am longing for spring to arrive. And last year I planted my first rose bush, and I love it. Love them. And I'm hoping this year I'll be able to plant a couple more. And so I wanted to do something bright and pretty and feminine and a little bit shabby chic with beautiful florals. And so that is where this came from. My inspiration was this fabric, which is part of a small tablecloth that belonged to my grandmother. And I did a light tea stain, it was bright white, a light tea stain on that and the trims that I've used down here and the doily portion there. So it has pockets on the front and back, but I didn't put anything in them because I wanted you to see the cover in its entirety as is. And we've got a book plate here. This is an image from the Graphics Fairy, and it is open on the top if you wanted to slip something in, your name in front of this, and that can come out if you wanted. A little cluster here of vintage and new buttons, and a little flower and leaves there. And the crinkly pink and green seam binding closure, it is removable, so that just comes right off. And let me move that stuff out of the way. Right inside the front and back covers, I just love this. It's got a little rose embroidery. So I didn't want to cover it up with pockets or anything, so all I've done is I've pinned a little green cameo there. And if you had pins that you collected or family keepsakes that you could pin in, I think that would be beautiful on the inside covers. Here is a printed right onto the tea-dyed paper, a rose image from the Graphics Fairy. And I created a couple of, I'm calling them patchwork pages. I wanted them to kind of look like quilts a little bit, and this is from the Fairyland Landscapes bundle. And here's part of another image from the Graphics Fairy. And then on the back, I love that it created rectangles everywhere that I think are like perfect for little journaling spots. Or if you had images that fit perfectly, like here, you could add images and ephemera of your own to these little blocks that the sewing created. That's why I didn't cover it up. Here we have an Edith Holden and a little faux hydrangea petal. A little flip out there. Another rose image. Book page. I've included a couple of pages from a, what is it called? Moleskine, a journal that I had. They're just creamy colored and they're so soft. Not very thick, but they're just nice paper. Tea-dyed music paper. Here we have a faux leaf clipped on and a quote of roses. This is a tuck, but I left it empty so you could see the quote. You could tuck something in there. And then on this side, we've got a glassine bag. Oh, actually it's on both sides. Clipped on, and there's another image from the Graphics Fairy. That was, I used a lot of these. This is from the Roses and Bees bundle. I love the postcard images. A little piece of trim there and some lace. Just some pretty little bits that if you wanted to embellish the journal with, you could. Here we have another quote and some leaf trim down below. On this pocket we have, and I love these journaling cards because they're so big. And this is from Blissful Blossoms, I think. A little piece of a doily tab. And then I've included a bunch of printables with roses on it. These were all the ones you'll see were gifted to me in a Facebook group from Becky. Thank you, Becky. And I've been kind of hoarding them, but I thought that all of these were perfect for to include in this journal. So you'll see them. I don't know what digital shop they come from. They're very pretty. page from The Secret Garden. Here I've created a tuck with one of the cards from the Graphics Fairy. Just cut it in half. Here's the piece of that trim. And this is from one of the ephemera, script ephemera bundles. And it's just a little note. And tucked right in there. And you could use the paper to journal on as well. A page from Romeo and Juliet. Vintage ledger. Here's another one of those printables that was given to me. And that's on the Moleskine paper. A sheet music cover. And here's the back of another one of the patchwork pages. I've just added a couple little bits of ephemera. And here is the center of the signature. We've got a key and a heart charm. And then a few images from the Graphics Fairy. And another quote. I just love how these came out. And then more journaling spots on the back. Rose page. Here's a tag with a faux leaf and a faux petal. And this is a little bit of the fabric from the cover. And this is from the black and white cut flowers bundle. I thought it'd be nice to have an image that you could color in the journal. In this pocket, we've got a bunch of stuff. We've got a vintage postcard. Another tag here with some green ribbon. And this is a page from the Wildflower book that I have that I just love. And another image from the Graphics Fairy. This is her journal. As I was creating it, that's who I was thinking owned it. Look at her love for the roses. And another of the goodies I was given. Another paper clip with some fabric. And this is from the is it French or Italian? I have two. There's an Italian page and a French page, but they're both vocabulary. This is Italian, and flower is here somewhere. Oh, fiore. Flower. The other side of the Edith Holden. Oh, there's another quote. And flip out there. Another image from the Roses and Bees. And here's the other that's in velvet ribbon there, and a couple more Graphics Fairy images, and then vintage dictionary entry for Rose. Here we have a little fabric flip up. And there you go. And then of course you could tuck stuff in the front and back. And then along with it, a few other goodies. There's a little envelope I created with a tuck. Some of the postcards from the Graphics Fairy I really grunged up and crinkled up and distressed. And inside we've just got a few little pieces of ephemera. Again, more postcards, printables, and this is a vintage postcard with roses. Oh, and a Dare to Dream. Love that. And I think that's it. Okay, and then in the glassine bag, I just created a little wrap of lace that goes over it with a pin. Some more goodies. A little bulb pin with a bunch of little tags on it that you can journal on. A little mini journal here. It's a vintage card. And a little pocket here. Another page from a vintage Wildflower book. And we got some more of the postcards. Everything's been distressed on the back. Here's one I really, grungied up. Oh, I love this. And this is also from the Graphics Fairy. With a little journaling card and a little file folder. So cute. And then here I have two printed from one of the script ephemera bundles. I think bundle 2. And these are just slipped onto the paper clip. It's just decorative, doesn't really hold it closed. But this is, you can see the paper clip there. A letter to from a sister. And I just thought if whoever owned this journal would have saved these letters and cherished them. And this is a poem, another rose image, a bouquet of roses. Here's a little hand-stamped muslin bag, and I've got a pin here with some ceramic beads with roses on them. And then inside we have a bunch of little mini pieces of ephemera. A little flower piece of a doily and a vintage chandelier crystal. I just think it's pretty, and you could make a necklace out of it if you wanted. Here's a little tiny glassine envelope with another roses and bees image. And there's a, oh, maybe it's just a couple mini postcards. I love these printables. A bird. A couple of tickets, and these are Tim Holtz pieces of ephemera. These beautiful shabby chic roses from the Graphics Fairy. A little French receipt. And just a couple more little, so you could do some journaling or you could use them to embellish your pages. So that is it. Thank you so much for watching, everyone. I hope that you like it, and please head on over to the Graphics Fairy website and check out the images that are available with the premium membership. You will not be disappointed. Thanks again, everybody. Bye.